The call came at exactly 8:47 a.m., just as I was helping Livia put sparkly butterfly clips in her hair before school. My mother-in-law's name flashing across my phone screen made my stomach clench, as it always did. I'm Lisa, and I've spent the last 7 years trying to be the perfect daughter-in-law to a woman who seems to take pleasure in making that impossible. Lisa, darling. Edith's voice dripped with artificial sweetness. I'm planning the most fabulous celebration for my birthday next month. I simply must tell you all about it. My fingers tightened around the phone as I watched Livia twirl in front of her mirror, practicing her princess wave for her upcoming birthday party. We'd been planning it for weeks, her first real birthday party with school friends. That's wonderful, Edith, I managed, keeping my voice steady. When are you thinking of having it? The 15th, of course. I've already booked the Grand Hotel's ballroom. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. The butterfly clip slipped from my fingers, clattering to the floor. The 15th. Of course it was the 15th. Livia's birthday. Edith, that's Livia's birthday. We've already planned her party for that afternoon, remember? I mentioned it at Sunday dinner last month. Oh? Her pause was perfectly calculated. Did you? Well, darling, surely a little girl's birthday party can be moved. This is going to be the social event of the season. 300 guests, a live band, and wait until you hear about the champagne fountain. I watched Livia's reflection in the mirror, her innocent excitement about her upcoming party evident in every movement. I'm sorry, but we can't move it. We've already sent out invitations. To what, 10 little children? Lisa, dear, be reasonable. James will want to be at his mother's birthday celebration. You wouldn't want to put him in an awkward position, would you? My free hand curled into a fist. Mommy, can I wear my new princess dress to my party? Livia's voice floated over, full of hope and excitement. Of course, sweetie. Go grab your backpack, okay? I waited until Livia skipped out of the room before responding to Edith. I'm sorry, but we're keeping Livia's party as planned. Well, I suppose James will just have to miss his daughter's little celebration then. I've already hired Brent Adams. You know, the event planner who did the governor's wedding. He's already put down deposits. I closed my eyes, counting to 10. I'll talk to James about it. Wonderful, darling. Oh, and wear something men-appropriate. No need for another fashion faux pas like at Christmas. The line went dead before I could respond. I stared at my phone, trembling with anger and frustration. That evening, after Livia was in bed, I tried to talk to James about it. He was sprawled on the couch, scrolling through his phone while half watching a basketball game. Your mother scheduled her birthday party on Livia's birthday, I said, sitting down beside him. On purpose. James barely looked up. Mom's always thrown big parties. You know how she is. That's not the point, James. She knew about Livia's party. I told her weeks ago. He sighed, finally meeting my eyes. Look, maybe we could move Livia's party to the next weekend? She's 5. She won't know the difference. She won't know the difference? I stood up, my voice rising despite my effort to stay calm. Your mother has pulled this kind of stuff for years, and you never say anything. Come on, Lisa, you're overreacting. Mom. She likes things her way. And what about our daughter's way? What about my way, just once? James ran a hand through his hair, looking exasperated. Can we not do this right now? The game's on, and I've had a long day. I stood there for a moment, looking at my husband. This man who could never see his mother's manipulation for what it was. 7 years of biting my tongue, of accommodating Edith's demands, of watching James brush off my concerns. Something inside me snapped. Fine, I said quietly. You're right. Your mother's just being herself. James looked relieved, already turning back to his phone. He had no idea that in that moment, everything had changed. As I walked upstairs to check on Livia, my mind was already working, forming the beginnings of a plan. Edith wanted to make this birthday memorable? Fine. I'd make sure it was unforgettable, just not in the way she intended. I pulled out my phone and texted my best friend, Samantha. Need your help with something. Can you meet tomorrow? It's about Edith. Her response came immediately. Finally, I've been waiting years for this. For the first time that day, I smiled. Game on, Edith, game on. You should have done this years ago, Samantha said, setting down her coffee mug with enough force to make the cafe table wobble. Remember when she criticized your wedding dress? At your own wedding? I stirred my latte absently. Or when she announced her cruise plans during Livia's christening? Exactly. Samantha leaned forward, her eyes sparkling with mischief. So what's the plan? Please tell me you have a plan. I do, but I need your help. First, we need to make Livia's party absolutely magical, something that will draw attention away from Edith's extravaganza naturally. Samantha pulled out her phone, already typing notes. I'm thinking Pinterest-worthy backyard transformation. Fairy lights, flower arches, the works. My sister still has all those decorations from her wedding. Perfect. But that's just the beginning. I glanced around the cafe before lowering my voice. I need to know more about Brent Adams. The event planner? Why? Because he's the key to everything. Edith hired him for her party and, oh my God. Samantha's eyes widened. You're going to mess with her party through him? I nodded slowly. But I need it to be subtle. Something that will make her party memorable for all the wrong reasons, without being traceable back to me. Lisa Rose, you beautiful, devious woman. Samantha grinned. I have an idea for Livia's party that might help with that, actually. My cousin works as a professional Disney princess performer. Livia would lose her mind, I said, already imagining my daughter's face lighting up. Exactly. And you know how fast party pictures spread on social media these days? Samantha raised an eyebrow meaningfully. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was Terry, one of Edith's closest friends and the biggest gossip in our social circle. Lisa, I just had to call. Have you heard about Edith's party plans? She's invited half the country club. Really? I kept my voice neutral, but my heart started racing. This was perfect. Tell me more, Terry. Well, I shouldn't say anything, but... Terry paused dramatically. She's planning some sort of big announcement. Very hush-hush. I'm helping with the guest list, you know? I caught Samantha's eye and she immediately understood. She grabbed a napkin and started writing while I kept Terry talking. That's so interesting, Terry. I'm sure it will be quite an event. After hanging up, I looked at what Samantha had written. Plant fake announcement rumors? Exactly, I said. But we need to make it believable. Something that would make people want to share it on social media. What if... Samantha's eyes lit up. What if we start a rumor that she's planning to announce something huge, like a massive donation to the children's hospital? No, too noble. It needs to be something more... Edith. I thought for a moment. Something that would make people uncomfortable, but they couldn't look away from. Like she's dating someone half her age? Perfect. I pulled out my own phone. Now we just need to get to Brent Adams. Samantha watched as I scrolled through my contacts. How are you going to manage that? Remember my client from the advertising agency? The one who works at the Grand Hotel? I found the number I was looking for. Time to call in a favor. 20 minutes later, I had Brent's direct number and a plan forming in my mind. Samantha helped me script out exactly what to say, and then I made the call. Brent Adams speaking. I pitched my voice slightly higher, mimicking Edith's affected tone. Brent, darling, it's Edith Kelly. Mrs. Kelly, how can I help you? I need to add something special to the party plan. A surprise announcement. Very important, very private. I'll send the details through email, but I need you to keep this absolutely confidential. Of course, Mrs. Kelly. Your privacy is our priority. After hanging up, Samantha slow clapped. That was terrifying. You sound exactly like her. Years of practice, I said, trying to ignore the guilty flutter in my stomach. Now we just need to make sure Livia's party is impossible to ignore. Leave the princess arrangements to me, Samantha said, standing up. And Lisa? For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing. Sometimes people like Edith need to learn they can't always be the center of attention. As I watched her leave, I pulled up my calendar and marked off the days until the 15th. 2 weeks to pull this off. 2 weeks to either triumph gloriously or crash and burn spectacularly. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Edith. Darling, I hope you're not too disappointed about the party clash. Perhaps Livia would enjoy being my flower girl instead? I took a deep breath and typed back, Actually, Edith, I think everything's going to work out perfectly. And for once, I meant every word. Terry called me 3 times in one day. Each time, her voice grew more excited, more conspiratorial. Lisa, you'll never believe what I just heard about Edith's announcement. Oh? I kept my voice carefully neutral as I folded Livia's laundry. What's the latest? Well, Margaret from the country club swears she overheard Edith talking about moving to France. Can you imagine? Though Amanda thinks it's about a younger man she met at the spa, I bit back a smile. The rumor mill was working overtime, exactly as planned. That's interesting, Terry. But you know how people love to gossip. Oh, but there's more. Brent's assistant told her yoga instructor that Edith requested special lighting for the announcement moment. Very dramatic, apparently. Perfect. The email I'd sent to Brent from a carefully crafted fake account was working its magic. I'd requested a spotlight moment, complete with a drumroll introduction. You don't say, I murmured, watching Livia through the window as she played in the backyard. She was practicing her princess wave again, this time with her teddy bear as an audience. Lisa? Terry's voice dropped to a whisper. Do you think James knows what it's about? James? I laughed, perhaps a bit too naturally. Terry, James doesn't even remember to put the toilet seat down. If Edith's planning something big, he's definitely in the dark. After hanging up, I checked my phone. 3 new messages from Samantha. Princess confirmed. She does Elsa and Anna. Got the arch and lights from my sister. Also, your mother-in-law's party is trending in local Facebook groups. I was about to reply when I heard the front door open. James walked in, looking troubled. Hey, he said, loosening his tie. Mom called me today. She's worried about something going around about her party. Have you heard anything? My heart skipped a beat, but I kept my expression neutral. Oh? What kind of things? I don't know, something about a big announcement. She says people keep asking her about it, but she has no idea what they're talking about. Huh. I busied myself with folding another shirt. Well, you know how people love to speculate. Yeah, but James was interrupted by Livia running in from the backyard. Daddy, guess what? Mommy says I can have a real princess at my party. James's troubled expression softened as he scooped up our daughter. A real princess? Wow. Uh-huh. And fairy lights and a castle arch and everything. Livia's eyes sparkled with excitement. That sounds expensive, James said, giving me a look over Livia's head. Don't worry about it, I said smoothly. Samantha's helping with decorations, and the princess is her cousin. We're getting a friends and family discount. James set Livia down, and she ran off to her room, probably to practice her princess wave some more. Lisa, about the party clash. It's fine. I cut him off. Your mother can have her party. We're giving Livia something special right here. He looked relieved, and I felt a twinge of guilt. But then I remembered all the times he'd dismissed my concerns about his mother. All the times Edith had deliberately overshadowed important moments in our lives. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Brent Adams himself. Mrs. Kelly, just confirming the special arrangement for your announcement. The spotlight and music cue are set for 9 p.m. sharp. I stepped into the kitchen to reply, using Edith's email. Perfect, darling. Remember, absolute discretion is key. No one can know about this beforehand, especially not my son. Of course, Mrs. Kelly. Your secret is safe with me. I deleted the messages just as James walked into the kitchen. Everything okay? You look different. Just excited about Livia's party, I said, which wasn't entirely a lie. It's going to be unforgettable. You know, James said, grabbing a beer from the fridge. Maybe I could stop by Mom's party early, then come to Livia's. Don't worry about it, I said, surprising myself with how calm I sounded. You should be with your mother on her big day. Livia and I will be fine. James looked relieved again, and I felt that familiar mix of disappointment and determination. He had no idea that while he would be at the Grand Hotel watching his mother's carefully curated party implode, I would be hosting the most magical birthday party our neighborhood had ever seen. My phone buzzed one more time. Terry again. Lisa, now people are saying Edith's announcement involves a reality TV show. This is getting wild. I smiled and typed back. Well, Terry, I guess we'll all find out on the big day, won't we? Indeed we would. And I couldn't wait. The morning of the 15th dawned bright and clear. By 9 a.m., our backyard had transformed into a fairy tale wonderland. Samantha directed her boyfriend and brother as they strung twinkling lights across the garden arch, while I arranged cupcakes topped with tiny crystal-like sugar decorations. Mommy, is the princess here yet? Livia bounced around in her sparkly blue dress, her excitement practically visible in the air around her. Soon, sweetheart. Why don't you help Aunt Sam with the flower arrangements? James had left early, dressed in his best suit for his mother's party. I'll try to stop by later, he'd promised, kissing Livia's forehead. I just nodded, knowing he wouldn't make it. My phone buzzed constantly with updates from Terry about Edith's party preparations. The champagne fountain is enormous, and you won't believe the ice sculpture. And everyone's whispering about the announcement. Lisa, Samantha called from the gate. The princess is here. I hurried over as a young woman in a perfect Elsa costume stepped into our yard. Her makeup and wig were flawless, and the quality of her costume would have made Disney proud. Oh my God, I whispered to Samantha. She looks incredible. Wait until you hear her sing, Samantha whispered back. Now, where should we hide her until the big reveal? Before I could answer, my phone rang. It was Terry again. Lisa, you'll never believe what's happening here. Edith keeps asking everyone why they're acting so strange, and people keep giving her these knowing looks. And Brent just confirmed there's going to be a special announcement at 9. How interesting, I said, watching as the first few party guests arrived. Terry, I have to go. Livia's friends are here. The next hour was a whirlwind of excited 5-year-olds, amazed parents, and perfect moments. When Elsa made her grand entrance singing, Let It Go, Livia's face lit up with such pure joy that I had to fight back tears. A real princess, she gasped, running to hug Elsa. You came to my party. Parents pulled out their phones, recording the moment. I noticed several of them posting immediately to Instagram and Facebook, tagging our location. This is incredible, one mom said to me. How did you manage this? Oh, just got lucky, I replied, checking my phone again. More messages from Terry. Everyone's asking Edith about France. Someone mentioned a toy boy and she nearly choked on her champagne. The governor's wife just arrived and asked about the TV show. Samantha appeared at my elbow with a knowing smile. How's the other party going? Exactly as planned, I whispered back. Edith must be losing her mind. The afternoon continued like a dream. Elsa led the children in songs and games, taught them all to freeze things with their magical powers, and took individual photos with each child. Livia was in heaven, especially when it came time for cake and everyone sang to her. Make a wish, sweetie, I called as she stood before her ice castle cake. Livia closed her eyes tight, then blew out all 5 candles in one breath. The parents applauded, more phones recorded, and I knew these moments were being shared across social media in real time. My phone buzzed again, this time with a text from James. Mom's acting weird. Keeps asking everyone what they know about her announcement. What's going on? I ignored it, focusing instead on helping Livia serve cake to her friends. Each slice had a tiny edible silver crown on top, and the children were delighted. Lisa, Samantha called, showing me her phone. You're trending locally. Look at these hashtags. Princess Party Goals. Best birthday ever. Party of the year. I smiled, knowing that many of Edith's guests would be seeing these posts. The contrast between the 2 parties couldn't have been more perfect. One full of genuine joy and magic, the other swimming in whispers and speculation. Another message from Terry. Edith just asked Brent about the spotlight arrangement, and he said it was all confirmed in her email. She looks so confused. What is happening? I watched as Elsa gathered the children for one final song. Livia stood in front, her little crown slightly askew, beaming with happiness. Parents were still recording, still sharing, still making this simple backyard party the talk of our social circle. Time for the snowflake parade, Elsa announced, and all the children lined up behind her, waving their craft paper snowflakes. My phone buzzed one more time. James again. Mom's getting really agitated. Says someone's spreading rumors? Should I be worried? I typed back quickly. I'm sure everything will become clear at the announcement. Focus on your mother's special day. As I watched Livia dance with her friends under the twinkling lights, I checked the time. 7:30 p.m. In 90 minutes, Edith's carefully planned party would reach its unexpected climax, and I couldn't help but smile. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about being loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's about creating something so beautiful that it naturally overshadows everything else. Terry's play-by-play updates from the Grand Hotel were better than any reality show. As Livia's party wound down and parents collected their tired but happy children, my phone kept lighting up with messages. OMG, the governor's wife just cornered Edith about the children's hospital donation. Edith had no idea what she was talking about. Someone just congratulated her on her brave life change, and she looked ready to explode. People keep checking their phones and whispering, "Your daughter's party pics are everywhere." Samantha helped me gather fallen snowflakes and deflating balloons, while Livia, still in her party dress, dozed on a garden chair. So, Samantha grinned, what time is the big announcement supposed to be? 9 o'clock sharp, I said, checking my watch. 8:15 p.m. Should be getting interesting right about... My phone rang. James. Lisa, something weird is happening here, he said, his voice tense. Mom's practically hyperventilating. People keep asking her about some big announcement, but she says she doesn't know anything about it. That's strange, I said, keeping my voice neutral. Maybe it's a surprise from one of her friends? I don't know, but hold on. I heard muffled voices in the background. Mom, calm down. What email? What spotlight? Another message from Terry popped up. Edith just had a meltdown at Brent. He showed her the email confirmation and she screamed it wasn't from her. James? I asked innocently. Everything okay? I have to go. Mom's really upset. Brent's showing her something on his phone and I've never seen her like this. After he hung up, Samantha raised an eyebrow. Should we feel bad? Before I could answer, my phone exploded with messages from Terry. Edith just tried to cancel the spotlight, but Brent says it's too late. Everyone's gathering for the announcement. She tried to leave, but the governor's wife blocked the door. Someone just asked if she's really moving to France with a 30-year-old yoga instructor. I couldn't help but laugh. The rumors took on a life of their own, I told Samantha. I just planted the seed about an announcement. Everything else came from people's imaginations. Mom? Livia stirred from her chair. Did everyone like my party? They loved it, sweetheart, I said, showing her some of the photos people had posted. Look how many people are talking about what a wonderful time they had. Even better than Grandma's party? She asked sleepily. Samantha snorted. Oh, honey, you have no idea. My phone buzzed again, multiple messages in quick succession. Terry. It's almost 9. Everyone's gathering around the stage. James. Mom's trying to stop something, but no one's listening. Terry. The spotlight just came on. James. What the hell is happening? It's showtime, Samantha whispered, checking her own phone. The hotel's event hashtag is blowing up. I scooped up Livia. Let's get you to bed, princess. You've had quite a day. As I carried her inside, Terry's messages kept coming. The drums started. Edith tried to grab the microphone, but Brent stopped her. Everyone's filming. OMG, the silence when nothing happened. She's standing there in the spotlight and nothing is happening. I tucked Livia into bed, still in her party dress as she insisted. Mommy, she mumbled. This was the best birthday ever. Yes, it was, sweetheart. I kissed her forehead. Yes, it was. Back downstairs, Samantha was glued to her phone. Lisa, you have to see this. People are live streaming from the hotel. We huddled over her phone, watching shaky footage of Edith standing in a spotlight, her face a mask of confusion and anger as hundreds of guests stared expectantly. The drumroll faded to awkward silence. Well? Someone in the crowd called out. What's the announcement? I don't... Edith's voice was thin and strained. Is it about France? Tell us about the TV show. Are you really dating a yoga instructor? The footage showed Edith backing away from the spotlight, her carefully maintained composure cracking. James appeared at her side, looking bewildered. I think, Samantha said slowly, you might have broken your mother-in-law. My phone rang again. James. I can't talk right now, he said immediately. She's not okay. The party's falling apart. I don't understand what happened, but in the background I could hear Edith's voice rising hysterically. I didn't plan any announcement. Someone did this to me. Someone planned this. I have to go, James said quickly and hung up. Samantha looked at me. Think they'll figure it out? I showed her my phone's screen. Another message from Terry. This is the biggest disaster I've ever seen. No one will ever forget this party. That, I said with a small smile, was exactly the point. The aftermath of Edith's party spread through social media like wildfire. By midnight, my phone was buzzing nonstop with notifications. Videos of the announcement that wasn't were being shared alongside photos from Livia's magical celebration, creating a stark contrast that couldn't have been more perfect. You need to see this, Samantha texted, linking to a local community Facebook group. People are calling it the tale of two parties. The top post read, while some chose extravagance and drama at the Grand Hotel tonight, others created pure magic in their backyard. Guess which party people will remember with smiles? Princess Party wins. Lisa, Terry called at 12:30 a.m. I had to tell you immediately. Edith left her own party, just grabbed her purse and stormed out after the spotlight disaster. James is beside himself. Really? I tried to sound surprised while picking up the last of the party decorations. What happened after she left? Half the guests followed her example. The other half stayed for the free champagne and to gossip. But that's not even the best part. Someone found the email that was sent to Brent. It came from an account that looked like Edith's, but wasn't quite right. People are saying she was sabotaged. I kept my voice carefully neutral. That's quite a theory. I know, but who would dare? Everyone's too scared of her to... Terry paused. Oh, hold on. Someone just posted new pictures from your daughter's party. Is that really the governor's niece in the comments saying she wishes she'd been at the princess party instead? Before I could respond, another call came in. James. I should take this, I told Terry. Talk tomorrow? I switched calls, my heart pounding. James? Is everything okay? No, everything is not okay. His voice was strained. Mom's hysterical. She's convinced someone set her up, made her look foolish on purpose. She keeps saying she'll find out who did this. I sat down on our porch swing. That sounds stressful. Where is she now? At home, thank God. But Lisa... He paused. The weird thing is, while all this was happening, my phone kept blowing up with notifications about Livia's party. Everyone was sharing these amazing photos and videos. It looked magical. It was, I said softly. She had the time of her life. I should have been there. His voice cracked slightly. Instead, I was watching my mother have a meltdown over some mysterious announcement that never happened. Just then, my phone pinged with another notification. Someone had created a side-by-side video comparison. Livia dancing with Elsa on one side, Edith standing confused in the spotlight on the other. The caption read, How to throw a party versus how to throw away a party. James, I started, but he cut me off. I need to stay with Mom tonight. She's not handling this well. She keeps checking social media and getting more upset. The comparisons between the two parties are making her crazy. I understand, I said, though part of me wanted to say, now you know how it feels. After hanging up, I went inside to check on Livia. She was sound asleep, still clutching the special snowflake wand Elsa had given her. On her nightstand, the little tiara caught the moonlight, sparkling just like her eyes had when she'd first seen the princess. My phone buzzed again. A message from Brent Adams. Mrs. Kelly, I've reviewed the email situation. The account that sent the announcement instructions was clearly fraudulent. I feel terrible about this misunderstanding. I didn't respond. Let him figure it out. Or not. Another notification popped up. Terry had tagged me in a post showing Livia and her friends in their princess poses. The comments were overwhelming. Now this is how you celebrate a child's birthday. Pure joy versus pure ego. Someone finally showed Edith she's not the queen of everything. Samantha texted, "Turn on the local news. They're doing a segment on social media party wars." Sure enough, there was our backyard on the late-night news, followed by shaky footage from the Grand Hotel. The reporter was trying not to smile as she described the contrasting celebrations that took social media by storm. My phone rang one more time. A blocked number. I answered cautiously. "Hello?" "I know it was you." Edith's voice was ice cold. "I don't know how, but I know you did this." I took a deep breath. "Did what, Edith? Throw my daughter a beautiful party?" "Yes, I did. You'll regret this," she hissed and hung up. I stood there for a moment, holding my phone, waiting for fear or guilt to set in. Instead, I felt strangely calm. I walked to Livia's room again and watched her peaceful, sleeping face. Let Edith come. Let her try to prove anything. In the end, I'd given my daughter an unforgettable birthday and taught her an important lesson. Sometimes the best way to deal with bullies is to shine so brightly they can't cast shadows anymore. My phone buzzed one final time. Another message from Terry. "You'll never believe what people are saying now." I smiled. The night wasn't over yet. The doorbell rang at 8 a.m. the next morning. I'd barely finished pouring Livia's cereal when I heard Edith's voice calling through the door. "Lisa, open this door immediately." Livia looked up from her breakfast, still wearing her princess pajamas. "Is that Grandma?" "Yes, sweetie. Keep eating your breakfast, okay?" I smoothed my hair and opened the door. Edith burst in, still wearing last night's party dress, her makeup slightly smeared. James trailed behind her, looking exhausted. "How dare you?" Edith jabbed a finger at my chest. "How dare you humiliate me like that?" "Mom, please," James started, but Edith whirled on him. "No, I know she did this. The email, the rumors, all of it, and look." She thrust her phone in my face, showing more side-by-side comparisons of the two parties. She planned this. She turned my special day into a circus. "Grandma?" Livia's small voice came from the kitchen doorway. "Why are you yelling at Mommy?" Edith spun around, her expression shifting instantly to a syrupy smile. "Oh, darling, Grandma's just..." "Don't." I stepped between them. "Don't you dare try to manipulate her, too." "Manipulate?" Edith's voice rose again. "You want to talk about manipulation? You somehow hacked my identity, sent fake emails, spread vicious rumors." "Prove it," I said quietly. "What?" "Prove it. Prove I did anything except throw my daughter a beautiful birthday party. The party you tried to overshadow, just like you've tried to overshadow every important moment in our lives. My wedding dress, Livia's christening, every Christmas, every anniversary, and now her 5th birthday." I felt years of suppressed frustration pouring out. "You couldn't stand that for once. Just once, the attention wouldn't be on you." "Lisa." James stepped forward. "Maybe we should all calm down." "No, James. For once, you're going to listen." I turned to face him. "Your mother deliberately scheduled her party on Livia's birthday. She knew about our plans. She knew, and she did it anyway." "That's ridiculous," Edith protested. "I would never..." "I told you at Sunday dinner, in front of everyone. You smiled and said, "How lovely, dear." Then you went ahead and booked the Grand Hotel anyway. James frowned. Mom, is that true? Of course not. I must have forgotten. Like you forgot about our wedding date when you planned your Mediterranean cruise? Or Livia's christening when you announced your house renovation? Mommy? Livia appeared again, clutching her snowflake wand. Are you okay? The sight of her standing there, small and concerned, broke something in me. I'm fine, sweetheart. Why don't you go show Daddy your special wand from the princess? Livia walked over to James, who picked her up automatically. Look, Daddy. Elsa gave it to me. Were you there? Did you see? James's face crumpled. No, Princess, I wasn't there. Why not? Everybody was there. Even Tommy's big sister came after her soccer game, and she's in high school. The silence that followed was deafening. Edith stood there, her perfectly manicured hands shaking as she watched her son realize what he'd missed. I have pictures. Livia wiggled down from James's arms and ran to get her tablet. Want to see? While she was gone, Edith tried one more time. This isn't about missing a child's party. This is about deliberate sabotage. My reputation is ruined. No, Edith, I said calmly. This is exactly about missing a child's party. About missing every important moment because you always have to be the center of attention. Look, Daddy, Livia returned, swiping through photos. See? Everyone was so happy, and look at my cake. And here's when Elsa sang. James scrolled through the images, his expression growing more pained with each one. He looked up at his mother, then at me, then back at the photos of joy and magic he'd missed. Mom, he said finally, why did you really schedule your party yesterday? Edith's face went pale. James, darling, you can't possibly think... Answer the question, Mom. Why that specific day? When Edith didn't answer, Livia tugged on her grandmother's dress. Grandma, want a piece of my leftover birthday cake? It has little crowns on it. The simple innocence of the offer seemed to deflate Edith completely. She stared at her granddaughter, then at the chaos she'd created, and for the first time, I saw something like shame cross her face. I should go, she whispered, turning toward the door. Mom. James called after her, but she was already gone. He turned to me, still holding Livia's tablet. Lisa, I'm so sorry. Daddy, want to see me freeze things with Elsa? Livia asked, oblivious to the tension. Yes, Princess, he said, his voice thick. Show me everything I missed. As Livia led her father to the couch, chattering excitedly about her magical day, I watched them and realized sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying someone else's moment. It's about creating something so beautiful they destroy their own. I think we should skip Sunday dinner this week, James said, putting away the last of the breakfast dishes. Livia had finally gone upstairs to change out of her princess pajamas, leaving us alone in the kitchen. Are you sure? I asked, though relief flooded through me. Your mother? My mother needs to understand there are consequences. He leaned against the counter, looking more decisive than I'd ever seen him. I spent the morning going through old photos and videos. You were right about everything. My phone buzzed. Another message from Terry. Edith just canceled her yoga membership and her country club events for the next month. People are saying she's taking a break from society. She's hiding, James said, reading over my shoulder. For the first time in her life, she's not in control of the narrative. Daddy, Livia called from upstairs. Can you help me find my crown? I want to show you my princess wave. James smiled. Coming, sweetheart. He turned to me. I need to make this right. You don't have to. Yes, I do. He took my hand. Starting with this. You're an amazing mother, and I've been a terrible husband. I should have stood up to Mom years ago. Before I could respond, the doorbell rang again. This time it was Samantha, carrying a USB drive. You have to see this, she said, rushing to our laptop. Someone compiled all the videos from both parties into one epic comparison. It's going viral. We watched as split-screen footage showed the contrast. Livia's genuine joy versus Edith's growing panic, Our backyard's warm atmosphere versus the cold hotel ballroom. Real magic versus forced glamour. I didn't want it to go this far, I admitted. I just wanted her to know how it feels to have someone else steal her spotlight. Well, Samantha grinned. Mission definitely accomplished, but wait until you see the comments. The laptop screen filled with responses. This is karma at its finest. Money can't buy real happiness. Look at the difference between these parties. Finally, someone showed that woman what really matters. James read them all, his expression a mix of embarrassment and understanding. You know what's crazy? This is the first time I've ever seen people stand up to her. Usually, everyone just enables her behavior, including me. Mommy, Daddy, I found my crown. Livia bounded down the stairs. Can we have another party? We all laughed, breaking the tension. Not today, princess, I said. But maybe we can practice your royal wave in the backyard? As Livia dragged James outside, Samantha turned to me. So, what now? Now? I looked out the window at my daughter, teaching my husband how to freeze things like Elsa. Now we let things settle. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from Edith. I understand now. I won't apologize, but I understand. It wasn't much, but from Edith, it was practically a surrender. I showed Samantha the message. That's it? She asked. After everything? That's enough, I said. Sometimes winning isn't about getting an apology. It's about changing the dynamic. Outside, Livia was spinning in circles, her crown slightly askew, while James recorded her on his phone. Look, Mommy, Daddy's putting this on Facebook. Good, I called back. Everyone should see what real magic looks like. Samantha gathered her things to leave. You know, for what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. Sometimes people need to learn the hard way. After she left, I joined my family in the backyard. The fairy lights were still up, swaying gently in the breeze. James pulled me into a hug as Livia continued her royal performance. I called Mom, he whispered. Told her we need some space and that when we do see her again, things will be different. How did she take it? She cried. First time I've heard her cry since I was a kid. He squeezed my hand. But she listened. Mommy, Daddy, watch this. Livia threw her arms wide, scattering imaginary snowflakes. I'm making magic. And she was, in her own way. Looking at her joy, at James's newfound backbone, at the shifted family dynamic, I realized something important. Sometimes the most powerful magic isn't in grand gestures or elaborate schemes. Sometimes it's in simple moments of truth, in standing your ground, in choosing joy over drama. Yes, you are, sweetheart, I said, watching her twirl. You absolutely are. James's phone pinged. Another notification about the viral video. He turned it off without looking. Some things, he said, are more important than social media drama. I smiled, knowing he finally understood. Edith might never fully change, but our family had. And that was the greatest victory of all. Come on, I said, picking up Livia's spare crown from the porch. Show me that royal wave one more time. After all, every queen needs her crown, even if it's just a plastic one from a backyard birthday party that changed everything.